Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Hey, so real quick, I'll kind of kick straight into the interview because there's a lot I want to go through specifically with the new album coming out. We've got the upcoming tour. I only fell in love with you guys a couple of years ago on the Alpha Wolf tour when you guys came to Australia for the first time. Um, I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea who you guys even were, and I'm big in the scene. Like I know a lot of the band, so it kind of blew me away that I'd never heard of you guys before. But your live shows are incredible. Coming on now to this tour you got coming up with Plot and You. Are you guys excited to come back and kind of get back to the Australian market again?
Oh yeah, I mean the tour with Alpha Wolf was so good. Obviously for good reason. I mean, people like you found out about our band. It probably helps to actually coming to Australia. So I don't hold anything against you because it had been almost 10 years before
Yeah,
that.
was it Soundwave 2014 that you guys came out for that?
Not even that. I think it was 2013 and it was with the Plot and You. We did
Oh, no
one tour
way.
with Fair Verona and one with the Plot and You back in like 2012, 2013.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I think it's funny that this will be our fourth time to Australia, and two of those times are Plot New tours.
Mm,
This one will be
yeah.
way different though, because this one's like sold out everywhere and is playing huge venues. And the one back in 2012 was like 50 people per show. So Plot New is, I think I'd like to think we both upgraded, but Plot New is definitely just exploded out in Australia and everywhere.
Yeah, no, Plot New played Good Things a couple of years ago here, and they were the first band on a side stage, and the whole stage was packed. I've never seen that tent so full. It was crazy, and it was like midday. It was insane.
Oh, I
Um,
believe it.
Now, last time you guys were here, you guys were months out from dropping Hell We Create. Just for your own record as well, like that album was my favorite album of the whole year, like by miles away. And I was a big Dayseeker fan. That album was also awesome too, but Hell We
Yeah.
Create was just something insane. You're now
Well,
coming out
thank you.
obviously with Lonely God dropping in a few short weeks. Um, Also another great partnership with the long relationship you've had with Solid State Records. Was there a lot of pressure to deliver a worthy follow-up to what a lot of people considered an album an album of the year contender?
There definitely was, but I felt good about it because even though the record turned out well, I felt like there was still a lot more we could do to get better. Because one of the big parts is I mean, since 2021, we've had this lineup and we have not fully utilized every piece of the lineup yet. We were still figuring out how to use Dan and how to use Trey, which obviously Dan is a really talented writer. He is in his other band is called Phineas, and they're also very good. And then Trey's other band he writes for called Invent Animate, which a lot of Australians probably are aware of them. They seem like a band Australians would love.
Love them.
He's also in that band. But we were trying to figure out like how can we get Dan and Trey like to be more involved and not just sit on the sidelines, because they were being very respectful, because they were like, I don't want to overstep because I know this band's been doing this for a long time and we don't want to like change things because fans like it. And then Lonely God, I think, is the first time like we found the formula finally for everyone to have a piece in the band and for it to feel organic and make sense. So I felt good going into this one because I was like, I know if we can just find that formula, it'll be an even better record. And I think we did find the formula.
For sure. And I think that formula comes off the back. I've got a quote here for like the album itself where you said that Lonely God is the result of us writing with no agendas. We didn't care about which songs could be viral or what we needed to be radio tracks. We just wrote what we wanted for the first time in a really long time. Was that sort of freedom liberating, thinking, cool, let's just write shit we want to listen to and what we want to
It
play?
definitely was. It's kind of nice when the only limits you're putting on yourselves are, do you like it or not? Versus like, we need a radio song, or this one's like, we need two more heavy ones because that's what fans want, or we need just like all these outside things directing us. And it was nice to just be like, do we like it? And do we think it belongs on the record? And those were the only two questions we needed to ask with each song.
For sure. And I can totally agree with that as a fan too. I think every song has its place on the record. I've already listened to it multiple times, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank
Um,
you.
Something that I did love though is that this probably has to be the most varied album sonically for you guys in that. Like, not everything is heavy, but not everything is melodic, and it kind of has this perfect flow to it. We're sitting songs that are really heavy, like Extinction, next to
Mhm.
songs like No Tomorrow, which is a bit more of like a pretty melodic song, an
Yeah.
intentional choice to kind of give that whiplash.
I've always been big on like albums. I know some bands are like single. I know labels love singles, but I love albums, and I've always tried to keep the listener in mind, like when you might want to break from a certain sound, or if you put too many in a row, like heavy songs, it starts feeling less heavy just because you've been listening to like three or four. Just like if you went Extinction and The Lonely God and to Blue Venom, it would just start feeling like, okay, I get it. That's
Yeah.
heavy. But I think when you can like bring people, like, you want it to feel like a story and like a movie. Not every movie is just like constantly one thing. It's like dynamic and has ebbs and flows. And it's like what I would like to see in a live show too. So I almost treat the album like, how would I want to see this live if it was in order?
That's really cool. That's really cool. That's a cool idea. Speaking on Extinction, though, I love that track. But that track is real short, only clocking in at just over 2 minutes. But there's an even
Yeah.
shorter song on the record, which is Blue Venom at 1:53. Um, Obviously, you guys kind of haven't really done short songs like this since Descendants, when you did Descendants and The Faint, The Desolate back in like, all the way at the first record. Was it fun kind of going back and like writing shorter songs again?
It was. And it goes back to the like just writing what we want thing. Because in the past, record, whether it's a label, which not really our label, or fans are like judging the length of the record and judging like the song lengths. And it's like, you know what? I like this song where it is. We don't need to just add more things to it just because, or we don't need one more chorus, or we don't need one more. It's like, if, like I said, the only question is, do we like it? And all of us are like, yeah, I like it right now. And it's like, then it's done. And it's just kind of fun sometimes to have a shorter, heavy song because you can kind of just go straight in, go as heavy as you can, and like have all the energy.
For sure. I'm really, really hoping Blue Venom makes it as part of the set list, because that song would be like, the mosh on that song would be crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping. Obviously, I think Monolith's going to have to be played just because you have Locky on it. But even if we're not touring with Alpha Wolf, he's the Australians will be paying attention to that one.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So the last three albums you guys did, so Dark Skies, The Path, and The Hell We Create, saw you guys working with Drew Fulk. He's done some of my favorite records over the past 5 years, including your own, like Hell We Create. Again,
Mm-hmm.
amazing record. But this record see you guys teaming up with new producers in Josh Gilbert from Spirit Box and Dan Braunstein from
Bronstein.
Volumes. Yeah. Dan specifically has done some incredible work with like Dayseeker, Ghost Inside, Invent Animate, with Trey, and Error. What was the collaboration process with those guys like compared to what you've done before? Was it a bit more like open, or because I feel like you guys have unlocked a new sound working with those guys.
I mean, Dan's kind of like the hot producer right now. Like all those bands you mentioned on top of Spirit Box, like he's just killing it right now. And
Hmm.
that's kind of how we've toured with we toured with As I Lay Dying in the past, so we met Josh that way. But obviously it felt natural because obviously Dan works all the time with Spirit Box. Josh is in Spirit Box now. He was like, hey, if Josh is available, would you like to do a day with him? So we only did one day with Josh in the studio, but it was a very productive day. Like we did Shelter pretty much. I just had a chorus idea and it turned into an entire song. And Josh was a huge part of putting that song together. I know people are expecting like the super metal one to be the Josh song, but it's actually the more melodic one.
Yeah,
But Dan,
Shelter's such a great song too. Like, I love it. Like, that hasn't been that's not a single yet, is it?
no, but it will be. It's kind of the like release day single where it's gonna start like getting radio push and stuff once the
Killer.
album's
That
out.
killer. That's a song. When I heard it initially, I was like, oh, that's so a single. Like, it's
Yeah,
such a good tune.
we are like that might freak some fans out because it's definitely not the heaviest song. So we're like, let's wait till the album's out and then so they'll hear that there's so much heavy stuff on the record without being, because if you put it out as a single, everybody speculates like they went soft.
Yeah.
Um,
No, the album is definitely heavy. Again, Blue Venom and
yeah.
Extinction, two songs that just ripped my face off. It was so good. Now, speaking of heavy songs as well, Technium was the first single released from the record, which has Landon on it. Obviously, you guys are going to be doing the tour in
Yeah,
January. Has that collab been a bit of a long time coming for you guys?
I think so. I mean, we played almost 100 shows with the Plot New in 2013. Kind of going back to that Australian one, we did 2 US tours, Australia. So, and we did another tour where it was us, Era, and the Plot New. This was like 2014 or something like that. So I think it's a long time coming because I mean we've just known each other for over a decade and been friends for over a decade, and I'm glad it could finally happen. I feel like this was the right time for it to happen, especially because Technium we tracked it at or the vocals with Landon,
Oh, cool.
so it just felt natural. I was like, hey, this part has some really creepy talking eerie stuff and Landon's really good at that. I think he should be on the song and he's already here tracking it anyways.
Hell yeah. Before I kind of move on to the tours and stuff, is there any particular song on the record you're like super proud of or you want to get in front of audiences?
I think the one that I'm really hoping pops off. I mean, Witness the End is my favorite song on the record, but I've always been a huge sucker for like the metalcore meets black metal slash deathcore orchestras, but still I've just been a sucker for that. Even when I was 19, I have music that was that style. And for a long time, the group, whether it was the producer, whether it was members of the band, we just didn't feel like it was something we should put out or that it was like the direction of our band. And then finally, we put out a record where we didn't give ourselves limits and we made a song that was in that vein. So I'm hoping that pops off so I can say, look, I was right. And if it doesn't work, I'll say, well, you know what? I was also on board with not doing it in the past. We just shouldn't have done it. So I can't lose.
For sure. Well, I tell you what, Witness the End, I love too. I think, and that's the album closer as well. It's a
It is.
great way to close out a really, really great record. I'm really excited for it to get in front of people and kind of hear the feedback. Um, Speaking on the tour though, obviously you guys are out here in January. I'm really excited to see you guys again. I've seen Plot before, like I said, they're great live. Boundaries were also on that. Boundaries and Banks Arcade are also going to be on this tour
Yep.
too. Boundaries only just played Australia for the first time last year, and they crushed it. They were so good live. I don't
Oh,
know if
they're
you've watched.
crushing in the US too. We did a tour with them and well, not a tour, it was like a week and a half of dates, but an Australian tour worth of dates in the US. And the crowd was going nuts for them every night. That band is popping off.
Yeah, I think they opened for. I think it was Make Them Suffer, which I know you guys are about to go on tour with as
Yeah.
well. I think it was the Make Them Suffer tour, and they were on first for 30 minutes, and the crowd was just like screaming for more. So it's going to be cool to kind of see them
What a
back
great
so
way to
soon.
open your tour.
Yeah, first show was in Brisbane too, and literally the whole crowd
Yeah.
was just going nuts for him. So, but yeah, that's going to be awesome. Banks Arcade as well, also crush. I'll put up in the title card like at the end all the dates and venues and stuff. But I'm really excited again for that tour. I'm really excited for this album to get in front of fans. Congratulations on another successful record, and we'll
Thank
see you
you.
in a few months
Sounds good when it's nice and warm,
when it is nice and warm,
which is
100%.
nice and warm where I am, but where you are.
It's gonna be very hot.
Yeah.